Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, where you are. And thanks a lot for joining this session on Smart Table. I'm Rishabh. I'm working as a project manager at Malmo office in Sweden. Today, we will talk about Smart Table. Why Smart Table? Because some of the best experiences people have in their lives are those that are customized and connected to them on a personal level. These days, people expect such experiences across all their brand interactions, whether they are paying for coffee, ordering groceries, or booking travel, or buying a car, which is a big decision. Smart Table provides this rich and immersive experience to the customers. I will be joined by Anuj and Arun in the talk today. We'll start with the trends in automotive industry. Why automotive industry? As the solution which we have built is for an EV manufacturer. We'll talk about digital retail experience. How does it looks like? We will talk about what is a smart table. We'll then look at our solution which we have built, the technology involved, and finally the takeaways as well as some use cases which we can see in other industries. Do you know that the automotive is the second most data-driven industry in the world? By 2025, almost 12% of all new cars worldwide will be fully electric. Full autonomy with level 5 technology, which is operating anytime, anywhere, is projected to arrive by 2030 at the earliest. Since the invention of the first automobile, the automobile industry has followed a linear path of development. It is very linear. But now the global automotive industry is in the middle of the biggest revolution that we have ever had in this industry. Robocars are the light vehicles, which we call as level 5 technology. Now, let's look at some of the key trends in the automotive retail industry. The first trend which we see is that the industry is moving from bricks to clicks. The journey is online as well as digital. The next trend which we see is contactless service. Customers today are looking for anything which is contactless, like contactless payment, purchasing online, at-home test drives, contactless delivery, and so on. Everything contactless. And the most important trend is the customer centricity. Customers now take the center stage. The focus is to provide a rich and engaging experience to the customers in order to drive profit and gain competitive advantage. Let's look further at these trends and probably some sub-trends. The concept of the digital showroom is gaining momentum. People want to buy cars online, and COVID-19 pandemic has solidified this trend. Digital buying will soon become a norm. And as for the Google survey, almost 18% of the auto shoppers would buy a vehicle sooner if there was an online purchase option. So yes, people want to buy cars online. The next trend which we see is online configurator, and it's on the rise. According to Think with Google, online configurator has been ranked as a good alternative to dealer visits by auto shoppers. These configurators offer some of the best ways to turn your car dreams into actually virtual reality. In the slide, we see example of an online car configurator for Tesla. Look how neat it looks like. Yeah. And as for the Google survey, 92% of the consumers do a research online for a car before coming to a dealership. According to the digital commerce surveys, almost 90% of the consumer claim their new or used car buying experience is digital. So digital, you see everywhere, the automotive industry is going digital. This trend, which is contactless service, the consumer these days are opting for anything that's contactless. This trend perhaps is most fueled by the current pandemic. According to McKinsey, less than 1/3 of the consumers want to conduct car sales in person at the dealership. They want contactless service. Approximately half of the respondents are willing to pay extra for this service. Here we see an example of Audi where they have this smart table, kind of a smart table where customer can interact. And the most important trend, the customers today expect more. They are looking for experience. They want to go to a dealership not just to buy a car. They demand a personalized and an exceptional experience from their dealership. Auto dealership can no longer compete on price alone in the age where customer experience has become the new commodity. Many customers today won't buy a product unless customization is an option. So see, people want to customize their car, and especially with big purchases like new car. And of course, With customization, they want visualization. They want to visualize their customization. Now, there are few challenges with the automotive industry or automotive retail is facing. It's the high cost of operations, keeping inventory and demo cars at the showrooms. This is a huge cost for the automotive retail. Demand for a digital approach for car buying. Yes, there is a lot of pressure from the customer. They want a digital approach for car buying. And last, customers changing expectation. The customer today is expecting a different experience, is looking for an enriched experience. They want something different and not just buying a car. So how should these challenges be addressed? The solution is an experience-led digital showroom. Please mark digital showroom because it enhances the car buying experience. As you see, there are some examples of how a digital showroom looks like. You can use technologies like AR, VR, smart table, and yes, you can offer the customer that experiences. The dealership now need to transform themselves into an experience-led digital showroom. They need to strive towards a connected experience using tools like AR, VR, smart table, and so on. The list goes on. The biggest advantage of a digital showroom is that it keeps the capital costs low, as they don't need a big space comparative to a conventional showroom. A conventional showroom, probably you'll see it needs a big space. You need to have more vehicles, demo cars, but digital showroom, you just have a smart table. You can show the customers all the model lineup in that. So yes, people can see the full range of models, discover future concept car. They can customize the car. They can visualize the car. They can feel the material samples. So digital showroom has a lot to offer. The new business models helps unlock operational efficiencies and offers more convenience. Now, we've talked about how a digital showroom looks like. There are some forward-looking brands like Polestar who have done an exceptional work. What Polestar has done is they have created a digital showroom experiences. They have these spaces which look like an art gallery and actually not a showroom. And I'll show you a video here which will show you how a digital experience looks like with AR, smart table. It has deeper information and in-store smart table with a configurator running it. Let's have a look at this video. So the video showcased a digital showroom with a smart table. So what exactly is a smart table? And smart table is an interactive display table, which provides a rich and immersive experience to the customers. It has floor to ceiling LED screens connected to it, which shows true to life images. It uses RFID to sense customers' choice. It has NFC, using which customers can read in previously done configurations on their mobile phone to the smart table. And once done, they can read out the configurations from the smart table to the mobile phones. A typical use case could be anything which is customizable and a relatively expensive product. A good example of this is Adidas. So they have developed this interactive retail experience in some of their stores. So what they have done is they have fitted RFID chip in the shoes. And once the customer places that shoe on the smart table, it senses it and it shows product specific content on the touch screen. It helps reinforces, assess the customer in their decision making. Key benefits which we see from a smart table are it reduces the capital bound in demo products. A conventional showroom has to keep a lot of inventory, demo cars, but with the smart table, you can go away with that. It blends the physical and digital retail experience. It reduces the cost and space required. You can open a smart showroom with a smart table in anywhere with a small space. You don't need to have big spaces. And smart table gives a lifelike representation of the entire model lineup. Now, let's have a look at the components of a smart table, and I will pass it on to Anuj to talk about them.
Thanks, Rishabh, to sharing the information about Smart Table. Hello, everyone. I'm Anuj Jain. I would like to share the journey of visitors when they visit the digitalized car showroom. So here we will firstly talk about what kind of a components are being used to convert a showroom to a digitalized car showroom. So firstly, you will see a big LED screen on the wall that will show you an image at real time. Then we have a touch screen on the smart table for customer interaction. After that, we have an NUC machine under the table. Another most important component is being used is a RFID reader, which is associated with the smart table. And we have a material samples equipped with the RFID tags. Those will be used to put on the RFID reader that will give a rich and immersive experience to the visitors. Finally, we have an NFC component that will help a user to transfer the car configuration which they have already configured on the mobile devices to transfer from there to the smart table to feel the live experience of the car in the digitalized showroom. Now let's start the journey. In this journey, before moving to the journey, I would like to share the existing example. So when you visit any showroom, what usually happens, we meet a representative and he or she will try to give you the information about the car. But what happens when you ask them, hey, I'm looking for XYZ car in black color, and he will say, no, sorry, sir, we don't have this kind of a car for the demo perspective. So probably either you will take a step back and you will go back home, or you will try to go to the another showroom to find out a car for the demo purpose. So now in this journey, we have a focus shifting user from physical interaction to the machine interaction. Here, firstly, you will see user visits the showroom and interacts with the touch screen, which has a smart table configurator. Okay, this allows usually customers to explore more options from what dealer can offer from the available stock at showroom. Right now, you will see in the next slide, like when a user the moment visitor makes choice of interior or exterior, it sends an event to our centralized event hub system that manages all the event. And at the same time, the event hub will send updated image to the LED screen. So user interactions will be displayed on the big LED screen as a real life image. Now, within the same journey, we have another option that we will see in the next slide. Here, within the same journey, user has different options to get another experience of this digitalized showroom. Here you will see we have a material samples equipped with the RFID tags on the table. So user uses these material samples with the RFID tags and putting them on the RFID reader. What it will parse the information about the RFID tags and will send the information to the event hub system. Okay, in the next slide we will see once event hub receives the event or the information about the RFID tags which was put it on the RFID reader, The interactive touch screen along with the LED display screen shows the images according to the user selection. The outcome of this journey can feel through the upcoming video. Here, you will notice user has many available choices on the table in the form of interior, exterior, wheels, or extractor associated with the RFID tags. As soon as user put an object on the RFID reader, at the same time, images are getting reflected on the big LED screen that gives a immersive experience to the user how the car can be look like. Now what next? Now user is happy to get all the information and want to place an order right away. Is it possible in the digital car showroom? Yes, but he afraid if he will complete the checkout process in front of everyone on the smart table. Probably he or she might be compromise the security information, right? They don't want to place an order in front of everyone. Now user has got all the information what he or she was looking for. Now they can place an order through the next through our checkout process through the scanning the QR code on this slide, right? So if user wants to place an order, the interactive touch screen will generate a QR code. The moment user will scan the QR code, the selected configuration which they have selected on the touch screen will be available on the mobile device, which is in a secured network, right? Ultimately, because network has on the mobile network has a secured where user can complete the checkout process. So this is an option through which user can complete the checkout journey. Now, in the next slide, we will discuss about the architect of this smart table. And I would like to call out to Arun and will hand it over to Arun to continue the journey of the architecture. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Anuj. Thanks for walking us through the journey. So now if we talk about the smart table architecture, then here we can see we have the touch screen and the big LED screen, and we have two NEC units which are connected with these two screens. And we have this RFID, and this RFID reader is present on the network as a simple service, which where connectivity is either over the plain TCP, and then it will send that request to the RFID parser, and that RFID parser receive that request as a raw TCP, and it decompose those messages and build up a current state of the RFID reader. Once that RFID parser receive those requests and pass it to the event hub, then event hub is working as a central system for this whole setup. And event hub is connecting with the different services which we are seeing here, like the cache. So this cache, what it does, it provides the ability to keep the images which we are displaying on the touch screen and the big LED screen, because those images are full HD screen or high resolution image. So it's better to keep them on the cache instead of getting those images over the network. And then event hub also connect with the REST API to get the current state of what user has put on the RFID reader. So it makes a call to the REST API, which is a web configurator to get the current state. And this image WebSocket and RFID WebSockets, these are the components which are used when there is a change in the image which is already not there in the cache. Then it will get those images from the server and put those images in the cache. And as a front end, we are using the React.js, and that front end is deployed in the AWS cloud, which is serving from there. And when it comes to the deployment part, so we know that right now here we are interacting with the hardware and software combination. So to keep our hardware update with the smart table, so we are using the PXE. PXE is the pre-boot executional environment. So if we want to set up a new smart table in any other showroom or in any other location, then PXE is the first thing which comes in the mind. So PXE is the deployment mechanism which is used to set up the smart table from scratch. We have used it because we set up that infrastructure once and we can reuse it later. And the maintenance with the PXE is also simplified. And like if we are setting up these showrooms in different country or different locations, then we could manage the different scripts for different environments. So this is why we are using the PXE. So this is all about this architecture. And if we look what is next in this big architecture, so we could use the NFC for the checkout, and which is the near field communication. So where what can user can do, user can share the configuration which he has created on his phone or any other smart device, and he can, if you want to take a field how his configuration will look like on the smart table, then he can do that by using the NFC. And vice versa, he can if he has already configured his car on that smart table, then he can take that configuration on his phone, and then he can do the checkout. So this is the next thing which we could do in this architecture. Now we will look on what are the technologies involved in this solution. So we have the React.js as a front-end application. We use the Python as a backend because our event hub is developed in the Python. And we have the Tornado as a web application server. We use the .NET as and C# with our web configurator backend, and we use the PXE and Ubuntu. So if we look like why we have used these technologies, so we have used the Python because it's pretty fast execution, and as we are interacting with the hardware, so we have a vast library support from this, and it's dynamically typed. We use the WebSockets because it is long-lived HTTP connection, and it allows pushing events on all the browsers. And also we use the PXE because it is faster installation, which you can do from the network or remotely, and which can be administrated by the admins. And the maintenance of these scripts are also simple. If we look on what are the takeaways from this idea, then things to take away or things can be considered from the engineering point of view, like as we are doing the development using the Python, then Python can be used, we can use the PyCharm as a development environment tool, which is very user friendly and has an interactive GUI to do the debugging. And we use the test bench, which can be used for the testing purpose, because here we are dealing with the hardware component. So it's not possible for every developer or engineer to have those hardware setups at their home or in their area. Then they can use that test bench for that. We will see how that we will see in the next demo how that test bench works. And the PXE can be used for the deployment and upgradation of the software and hardware. So if we look on the video, so here a user can look for that. They can set up the test bench, and then they can look for the color, interiors, and they can use the wheels or packages. And once you select that option, then it will create that JSON, and that JSON will be sent over the WebSocket using that RFID parser. So this is how you can, when you select that, then it will create that JSON and have the different RFID ID and the code which you are selecting. So this is how this can be passed to the WebSocket over the network. So, and if we look on the industry use cases, what are the other industries which are using those this setup? So first one is the Adidas, like which Rishabh already told that Adidas is using this as a smart table, because where user can choose a shoe, and every shoe has a RFID which they can put on the RFID reader, and then they can see the product detail, and then which will help customer to make his choice. And the other use case is the Tommy Hilfiger, which where user can digitally view every single item in the Tommy Hilfiger collection to create the custom orders. So these are the use cases which help user to see their digital experience in the showroom, and see the digital rich experience in the smart table. So these are the things we covered. If we look on the next thing, so these are the references which we can use to look for or read about all these smart tables thing. So so that's all we have for today. So we are open for questions now. Thank you for your time.
Thanks a lot, Arun.
If there are questions, yes, we can take them now.
Yes, Rishabh, there are a few I saw, and I'm just bringing them up to you. So what's the difference between what you shared and the Audacity case study? What other developments have been done? For example, customized solution is now synced in phone instead of a USB stick.
So the solution which we have done is a smart table. So here we are dealing with a smart table where you can have an online car configurator running on it. You can customize it and you can able to see those visuals on not only on the table but also on a big LED screens which can be attached to it. I think the Audacity, what they are doing, they have this VR experience. So they use this virtual reality to showcase it. And that's why I said this is all the smart showroom concept where you can use AR, VR, a smart table. So these all will go into a smart showroom. It's not only like one of those things. So yeah, it's a way how do you want to set up it. And like a lot of players now are using all of these technologies. And it's not only smart table which can be used in like automotive, as I said, like in retail as well. We see those now brands coming up with this digital technologies using smart table. Like Adidas is a very good example where they are using the shoes and you put the shoe and then you see product content on the table. Hope that answers the question.
Thanks for that. For the touchscreen, was there any specific advantage in using an NUC with a touchscreen instead of an iPad or Android tablet or any other such device?
Yeah, for this thing, we use the NUC because NUC has a very compatible thing when it comes to talking with the WebSocket. So that's the reason we use it.
And there's a bit of a tech question to say, if you can just throw some light on which parts of the system use Python versus .NET.
Yeah, so .NET, our web configurator, which is online portal, that has been done in the .NET, and the all the hardware communication which we are doing with the RFID parser and the event of connecting with the RFID readers and connecting with the cache system or REST API, those all things have been developed in the Python. So whole the event of which is the center system for this smart table that has been developed in the Python.
This was helpful. I don't see any more questions. So great. Thank you so much, Rishabh, Anuj, Arun, for your time today and sharing this very smart table concept with the team. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everyone.